Welcome back to The Wisdom Within. I'm Lara Jaye, Executive Spiritual Advisor, Intuitive Guide, and someone who is deeply interested in the intersection between emotional healing, nervous system wisdom, grounded spirituality, and real life. Today, I want to talk about something that I think creates a lot of confusion for people on a healing path, and that is the belief that healing should always be peaceful, expansive, light, clear, or immediately relieving. And sometimes it does, and it is that way. But often, healing feels disorienting. It can be exhausting, emotional. It can be quiet, uncomfortable, even strangely empty for a period of time. And if people don't understand why this is happening, they often assume something is wrong. But many times, it's not that anything is wrong. Something is finally moving. And one of the things I see often, especially in my clients, is that they expect healing to feel like instant certainty. Like, I did the work, now I should feel amazing, and everything I want to create in my life and manifest should just show up. And I wish that were the case and we could just snap our fingers and it'd be like that. And it isn't. Real healing is usually much more layered than that. Because healing isn't just clearing energy or gaining insight. It's the process of the body, the mind, the identity, emotions, and even the nervous system, all of these different pieces, reorganizing around a whole new reality. And that process can feel incredibly unfamiliar at first. Most people don't even realize how much energy goes into maintaining these survival patterns: overfunctioning, people-pleasing, emotional suppression, hyper-independence, constant productivity, staying emotionally guarded, and always anticipating everyone else's needs. Now, these patterns, they can become deeply wired over a long period of time. And not because people are broken, but because at some point, those strategies help them adapt, help them stay safe, connected, even to avoid pain, and especially to maintain control. And eventually the body learns, this is who I am. This is how I survive. This is how I stay loved. And this is how I stay safe. So when healing begins, those patterns often start loosening. And while that sounds beautiful spiritually, the nervous system can experience it as destabilizing at first, because something familiar is dissolving. Like I mentioned in the first episode of this season, it reminds me of Buzz Lightyear, intruder alert, intruder alert. That's what our nervous systems are doing when things start loosening, because it's so unfamiliar to us. I think one of the hardest parts of healing is the in-between space. I know it is for me. The place where the old version of you no longer fully fits, but the new version of you doesn't yet fully feel embodied either. Many of us are standing in this exact spot right now. And it can be very confusing. It can be frustrating. You may suddenly feel less interested in things that once used to motivate you. You're probably much less available for chaos, less willing to tolerate certain dynamics, less motivated by pressure or external validation. This is all great stuff. And for many people, believe it or not, it creates fear. Again, intruder alert, because they mistake this pause for failure. But often, it's really just a recalibration. The system is reorganizing. And during that process, many people temporarily feel emotionally raw, more tired than usual, especially more sensitive, less certain, more aware of grief, or even more aware of how long they've been operating so disconnected from themselves. That awareness alone can feel emotional. And this is also why people unconsciously stop healing work right before major shifts occur. Not because the healing isn't working, but because something deeper is being challenged. It's your identity. Because once healing starts changing how you relate, how you work, choose, lead, love, rest, communicate, or tolerate dysfunction, life starts changing too. And that can feel very vulnerable, especially for people who built their entire identities around being so capable and productive, strong, and emotionally contained. Sometimes healing asks people to release identities that once protected them. The strong one, the fixer, the achiever, the caretaker, the one who never needs help, the one who always keeps going. And losing these old identities, even painful ones, can create grief. Because healing is not only gaining something new. Sometimes it's mourning who you had to become to survive. It's the death of the false ego you created to fit in a box. I also think social media has created this quite distorted image of healing. People expect healing to always look constantly elevated and peaceful and aligned. But real healing often looks very different from that. Sometimes it looks like finally telling the truth, or it looks like resting. Sometimes it's crying and crying after years of emotional suppression. It could look like losing interest in performing. Looks like saying no more often. It looks like no longer abandoning yourself to maintain connection. And honestly, sometimes healing feels so much worse before it feels better, because numbness is dissolving. You start to feel again and not just joy. Many people secretly believe once I'm healed, I'll never feel confused, emotional, uncertain, tired, triggered, disappointed, lonely, or challenged again. That's not healing. Healing is being able to experience those things without abandoning yourself in the process. Recently, I had someone ask me something along the lines of, shouldn't you have all this figured out by now? And I remember laughing because I think many people assume that if you do this healing work, teach it, write books about it, guide others through it, that somehow means you stop having your own human experiences. Well, that has not been my reality. And in many ways, I find myself walking through things before I teach them. Before I speak about identity shifts, I've lived one. Before I teach emotional healing, I have had to navigate my own emotions. Before I talk about letting go, grief, reinvention, relationships, uncertainty, or nervous system regulation, I have spent a lot of time wrestling with all of these things myself. And not because I'm doing something wrong, but because being a guide doesn't remove you from the human experience. It often places you deeper inside of it. The difference isn't that I have everything figured out. The difference is that I've learned how to stay connected to myself while I'm moving through it. Again, healing isn't having it all together. Healing is staying connected to yourself when you don't have it all together. And this is why the nervous system work matters so much. Because healing is not just intellectual. You can't think your body into safety. Your body has to experience safety repeatedly. It has to learn that rest is safe, that stillness is safe, that support is safe, that receiving is safe, boundaries are safe, peace and calm are all safe. And that takes time. Not because you're failing, but because the system is learning an entirely different way of existing. A way that no longer depends on survival mode to function. So if you've been in a season where healing has felt emotional, maybe slower than expected, more uncomfortable, certainly, than you expected. Or where parts of your life feel like they're quietly rearranging themselves. I want you to know this. Discomfort does not automatically mean something is wrong. Sometimes it means something old is leaving. And it means your nervous system is learning how to stop gripping. It also means you're becoming more honest with yourself. And sometimes healing feels tender because you are finally meeting parts of yourself that have been carrying too much for too long. Be gentle with that process. Healing is not becoming perfect. It's becoming more connected, more regulated, more honest, more whole, and often much more human. When people ask me what my work is about, I say first and foremost, it's about reconnecting to yourself so that you can have that deeper connection with God, with the universe, and with others. And if this episode resonated with you, you can explore my private intensive mentorship or join us in a monthly soul sanctuary gathering. The information is below or larajay.com. And now we're going to move into today's energetic clearing. Our intention today is to support emotional integration, nervous system softness, and safe release. We want to allow the body to loosen its grip on survival patterns that are no longer necessary, and to create safety around becoming someone new. Just tune into your body with me for a moment. One hand on your stomach, one hand on your heart. Take a deep breath in, hold, blow out. Do that one more time. Just land in your body. Notice how you feel right now. As we begin, the light language. Galeoto nanando, isabeondo de la caliando, carete dorando, carete diendo, an torete etokle cariandi de tokle de moranda, ondo de caringo. Calode, illocorebli corindi di col iti di celebrabri and di ca, alati and di yondo collecti and di inga, you correti di celebrabringa, you correti di collecliama, leondo gelatolari angar yenga, corrienderi di celebrabringa, lo corriendari ca. Quando le peoture le calicala le coringa, yinga lo dice le plabringa, en o te le plabringa la di calicaliandringa, I carete yanga, Kiondo di piuto le auto delle piuto da cariandringo, carete di indario corra piuto, Kiondo di calicalali auto delle plabrinda di to de calicariandri di dice le plabrinda, carete di andariotto. Ando le blabrinde di do cliclianda di do ando calipele corriende di le blabringa la corriende di yaka kiondo dio da blabrinde di do le blabrinde di ita ondo calete yanda di corriende di le blabringa le do le blabringa le tianga ondo calete yanda di calibringa ika kiondo le blabringa le piwa calioko carianda kioto la buam